almost every.
So, oh, are we live? We're live. I think we're live. Hooray! Sorry, everyone. You caught me unaware. Thank you so much for staying tuned. Sorry, it took us a second. Technology, Zoom theater, what a time. My name is Olivia Benchain. Before we jump into our reading tonight, which is Aimé César's A Tempest, I just want to take a quick moment and invite all of you to take a moment with me in acknowledgement that although we are zooming in from all over the place, Project Nanjanu's primary home exists on the occupied, unceded, and seized territory of the Tongva people. In light of that, we strive to approach all of our work with humility and gratitude. Okay, so thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name is Olivia Buntain. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the artistic director of Project Nanjanu. We've been around for about 4 years now with a mission to centralize the voices of women and marginalized populations in classical theater and mythology. This company was born from seeing a tremendous lack of representation and honestly, like a lot of kind of boring storytelling, at least in the Los Angeles theater scene. And we got a bunch of folks on the margins to come together and reinterpret these texts of the Western canon that have been, weighing us down for so long and find kind of revolutionary potential in them. This particular production, which is a retelling of Shakespeare's The Tempest, is a really visceral, meaty, beautiful piece. And it's a specific look at white supremacy, colonialism, and racial violence. So as a content warning, I do just want to let you all know that the language and content of this piece reflects those themes. And of course, do whatever it is that you need to take care of yourself. So this reading is going to be, gosh, I'm almost done talking. I'm so bored of myself talking. Okay, this reading is going to be followed by a short talk back where we can sort of chat about some of the themes that came up in this play. And yeah, so stick around for that. I also want to give a special shout out to Marie Osterman for her work producing this, as well as to Ann Sloat for assisting us. We have a suggested donation of $10, which you can give to us through Venmo, just at Project Nanjanu. And 100% of that money will go towards compensating the creative and producing team for this project. I'm so excited to show you Celia Mandela Rivera's directing, who has also been a founding company member of Project Nanjanu. She's an absolute superstar. This cast is an absolute superstar. All their names are listed in the YouTube streaming thing. So, look them up because they're all going to be terribly famous someday, and you'll have seen them in the Zoom reading. So without further ado, I'm just overjoyed to present to you Project Nanjanu's reading of A Tempest by Aimé César.
Come, esteemed guests, help yourselves, to each their character, and to each character their mask. Oh, you, Prospero? Why not? He has reserves of willpower he's not even aware of himself. Oh, you want Caliban? Well, that's revealing. Ariel. Yes, fine with me. And, what about Stefano or Trinculo? No takers? Ah, yes, just in time. It takes all kinds to make a world. And after all, they aren't the worst characters. No problem about the juvenile leads, Miranda and Ferdinand. Okay, yeah. Oh, and there's no problem about the villains either. You, Antonio. And you, Alonzo. Perfect. Oh, Christ, I was just forgetting about the gods. Eshu will fit me like a glove. And as for the other part, to just take what you want and work it out amongst yourselves. Now, there is one part I have to pick out myself. It is for the part of the Tempest, and I need a storm to end all storms. Will you do that for me? Fine. Oh, and I also need someone strong for the captain of the ship. Good. Now, let us go. Ready? Begin! Blow winds! Rain! Lightning! Go! Shh! Cha-cha-cha-cha.
Of course, we're only straws tossed on the raging sea, but all's not lost, gentlemen. We just have to try to get to the eye of the storm.
Oh, we might have known this old fool would nag us to death.
Oh, to the bitter end.
Try to understand what I'm telling you. Imagine a huge cylinder like a chimney of a lamp, fast as a galloping horse, but in its center as still and unmoving as a cyclops' eye. That's what I'm talking about when I say the eye of the storm, and that's where we have to get.
Oh, great. Do you really mean that the cyclone or cyclops, if he can't see the beam in his own eye, will let us escape? That's very illuminating.
It's a clever way of putting it, at any rate. Literally false, but yet quite true. But what's that fuss going on up there? The captain seems worried. Captain!
Boatswain!
Aye, sir.
We're coming round windward of the island. At this speed, we'll run aground. We've got to turn her around. Heave to.
Come on, men. Heave to the topsail, man the ropes. Pull! Heave! Ho! Heave!
Boatswain, how are things going? Where are we?
If you ask me, you'd all be better off down below in your cabins.
He doesn't seem too happy. We better ask the captain. Where's the captain, Boatswain? He was here just a moment ago and now he's gone off.
Get back below where you belong. We've got work to do.
My dear fellow, I can quite understand you being nervous, but a man should be able to control himself in any situation, even the most upsetting.
Shove it. Now, if you want to save your skins, you better get yourselves down back below in those first-class cabins of yours.
Now, my good fellow, you don't seem to know whom you're speaking. The king's brother, the king's son, and myself, the king's counselor.
King? Well, there's someone who doesn't give a fuck more about the king than he does about you or me, and he's called the Gale, His Majesty the Gale, and right now, he's in control and we're all his subjects.
He might just well as be the pilot on the ferry to hell. His mouth's foul enough.
In a sense, this fellow regales me, as you might say. We'll pull through. You'll see. He seems to me more like someone who'll end up on the gallows rather than beneath the billows.
Well, the end result is the same. The fish will get us and the crows will get him.
He did irritate me, rather. However, I take the attenuating circumstances into account. You must admit, he lacks neither courage nor wit.
Pull in the stud sails! Helmsman, into the wind! Into the wind! You again. If you keep bothering us and don't get below and say your prayers, I'll give up and let you sail the ship. You can't expect me to be the go-between for your souls and Beelzebub.
It really is too much. This fellow is taking advantage of the situation.
Windward, heave into the wind!
Did you see that? There, at the top of the masts, in the rigging, that glitter of blue fire flashing. Flashing? Oh, they're right when they call these magic lands so different from our homes in Europe. Look, even the lightning is different.
Maybe it's a foretaste of the hell that awaits us.
Oh, you're too pessimistic. Anyway, I've always kept myself in a state of grace, ready to meet my maker.
Shit! We're sinking!
To leeward! To leeward!
Alas! There's no one in hell. All the devils are here.
Oh God! Oh God, a sinking ship! Father, help! Come, daughter, calm yourself. It's only a play. There's really nothing wrong. Anyway, everything that happens is for our own good. Trust me. I won't say anymore.
Such a fine ship and so many fine, brave lives sunk, drowned, laid waste to rack and ruin.
A person would have to have a heart of stone not to be moved.
Drowned. Well, that remains to be seen. But draw near, dear princess. The time has come.
Well, you're making fun of me, Father. Wild as I am, you know I am happy, like a queen of the wildflowers, with the streams and paths running barefoot through thorns and flowers, spared by one, caressed by the other.
But you are a princess, for how else does one address the daughter of a prince? I cannot leave you in ignorance any longer. Milan is the city of your birth, and the city where for many years I was the duke.
Then how did we come here? And tell me too, by what ill fortune did a prince turn into the recluse hermit you are now, here on this desert isle? Was it because you found the world distasteful, or through the perfidy of some enemy? Is our island a prison or a hermitage? You've hinted at some mysteries so many times and aroused my curiosity, and today you shall tell me all.
In a way, it is because of all the things you mention. First, it is because of political disagreements, because of the intrigues of my ambitious younger brother. Antonio is his name, your uncle, and Alonso the name of the envious king of Naples. How their ambitions were joined, how my brother became the accomplice of my rival, how the latter promised the former his protection and my throne. The devil alone knows how all that came about. In any event, when they learned that through my studies and experiments I had managed to discover the exact location of these lands for which many had sought for centuries, and that I was making preparations to set forth and to take possession of them, they hatched a scheme to steal my as yet unborn empire from me. They bribed my people. They stole my charts and documents, and to get rid of me, they denounced me to the Inquisition as a magician and sorcerer. To be brief, one day I saw arriving at the palace men to whom I had never granted audience, the priests of the Holy Office.
The Holy Inquisition for the preservation and integrity of the faith and the pursuit of heretical perversion, acting through the special powers entrusted to it by the Holy Apostolic Diocese, informed of the errors you profess, insinuate, and publish against God and his creation with regard to the shape of the earth and the possibility of discovering other lands, notwithstanding the fact that the prophet Elijah stated and taught that the Lord God is seated upon the circle of the earth, and in its center is Jerusalem, and around the world lies inaccessible paradise. Convinced that it is through wickedness that to support your heresy you quote Strabus, Ptolemy, and the tragic author Seneca, thereby lending credence to the notion that profane writings can aspire to an authority equal to that of the most profound of the Holy Scriptures. Given your notorious use by both night and day of Arabic calculations and scribblings in Hebrew, Syrian, and other demonic tongues, and lastly, given that you have hitherto escaped punishment owing to your temporal authority and have, if not usurped, then transformed that authority and made it into a tyranny, doth hereby strip you of your titles, positions, and honors in order that it then may proceed against you according to due process through a full and thorough examination, under which authority we require that you accompany us.
And yet the trial they said they were going to hold never took place. Such creatures of darkness are too much afraid of the light. To be brief, instead of killing me, they chose even worse, to maroon me here with you on this island.
Oh, terrible! And how wicked the world is! How you have suffered!
In all this tale of treason and felony, there is but one honorable name, Gonzalo, counselor to the King of Naples, and fit to serve a better master. By furnishing me with food and clothing, by supplying me with books and instruments, he has done all in his power to make my exile in this disgusting place bearable. And now, through a singular turn, fortune has brought to these shores the very men involved in the plot against me. Oh, my prophetic science had, of course, already informed me that they would not be content merely with seizing my lands in Europe, and that their greed would win out over their cowardice, that they would confront the sea and set out for those lands my genius had discovered. I couldn't let them get away with that. And since I was able to stop them, I did so with the help of Ariel. We brewed up the storm that you have just witnessed, thereby saving my possessions in Europe and bringing the scoundrels into my power at the same time. Aha, Ariel! Well, Ariel?
Mission accomplished.
Bravo. Good work. But what seems to be the matter? I give you a compliment and you don't seem pleased. Are you tired?
Not tired, but disgusted. I obeyed you, but, well, why not come out with it? I did so most unwillingly. It was real pretty to see that great ship go down so full of life.
Oh, so you're upset, are you? Well, it's always like that with you intellectuals. Who cares? What interests me is not your moods, but your deeds. Let's split. I will take the zeal and you can keep your doubts. Agreed?
Master, I must beg you to spare me this kind of labor.
Listen, and listen good. There is a task to be performed, and I do not care how it gets done.
You promised me my freedom 1,000 times, and I'm still waiting.
Ingrid, who was it who freed you from Sycorax, may I ask? Who rent the pine and which you had been imprisoned and brought you forth?
Sometimes I almost regret it. After all, I might have turned into a real tree in the end. Tree. That's a word that really gives me a thrill. It often springs to mind palm tree, springing into the sky like a fountain, ending in nonchalant, squid-like elegance. The baobab, twisted like the soft entrails of some monster. Ask the kalau bird that lives in the cloistered season in its branches, or the ceiba tree, spread out beneath the proud sun. Oh bird, how green mansions set in the living earth.
I don't like talking trees. As for your freedom, you'll have it when I'm good and ready. In the meanwhile, see to the ship. And I'm going to have a few words with Master Caliban. I've been keeping my eye on him, and he's getting a little too emancipated. Caliban! Caliban! Ugh. What did you say?
I said,
Mumbling your native language again. I've already told you I don't like it. You could be polite. At least a simple, little hello wouldn't kill you.
Oh, I forgot. But make that as froggy, waspish, pustular, and dung-filled hello as possible. May today hasten by a decade the day when all the birds of the skies and beasts of the earth will fill upon your corpse.
Gracious as always, you ugly ape. How can anyone be so ugly?
You think I'm ugly? Well, I don't think you're so handsome yourself with that big hooked nose. You look like some old vulture, an old vulture with a scrawny neck.
Well, since you're so fond of invective, you could at least thank me for having taught you to speak at all. You, a savage, a dumb animal, a beast I educated, trained, dragged up from the bestiality that still clings to you.
Yeah, in the first place, that's not true. You didn't teach me a thing. You had to jabber in your own language so that I could understand your orders. Chop the wood, wash the dishes, fish for food, plant the vegetables, all because you're too lazy to do it yourself. And as for learning, did you ever impart any of that to me? No, you took care not to. All your science you keep for yourself alone, shut up in those big books.
What would you be without me?
Without you, I'd be the king. That's what I'd be. The king of the island. The king of the island given me by my mother, Sycorax.
There are some family trees it is better not to climb. She is a ghoul, a witch, from whom, and may God be praised, death has delivered us.
Dead or alive, she was my mother, and I won't deny her. Anyhow, you only think she's dead because you think the earth itself is dead. It's so much simpler that way. Dead, you can walk on it, pollute it. You can tread upon it with the steps of the conqueror. I respect the earth because I know that is alive. And I know that Sycorax is alive. Sycorax, mother, serpent, rain, lightning, and I see thee everywhere. In the eye of the stagnant pool which stares back at me, through the rushes, in the gesture made by twisted root, in its waiting thrust. In the night, in the all-seeing blinded night, the nostriless smelling night. Often in my dreams she speaks to me and warns me. Yesterday even, when I was lying by the stream on my belly, lapping at the muddy water, when the beast was about to spring onto me with that huge stone in its hand.
Listen, if you keep on like that, even your magic won't save you from punishment.
Right. That's right. In the beginning, the gentleman was all sweet talk. Dear Caliban here, my little Caliban there. And what do you think you'd have done without me in the strange land? Ingrate! I taught you the trees, the fruits, the birds, the seasons, and now you don't give a damn. Caliban the animal, Caliban the slave. I know that story. Once you've squeezed the juice from the orange, you toss the rind away.
Oh.
Do I lie? Isn't it true? You threw me out of your house and made me live in a filthy cave? The ghetto?
Oh, it's easy to say, ghetto. It wouldn't be such a ghetto if you took the trouble to keep it clean. And there's something you forgot, which is that what forced me to get rid of you was your lust. Good God, you tried to rape my daughter.
Rape? Rape? Listen, you old goat. You're the one that put those dirty thoughts in my head. Let me tell you something. I could care less about your daughter, or about your cave for that matter. If I gripe, it's on principle because I didn't like living with you at all. As a matter of fact, your feet stink.
I did not summon you here to argue with you. Get out. Back to work. Wood, water, and lots of both. I am expecting company today.
I've had just about enough. There's already a pile of wood that high.
Enough. Careful, Caliban. If you keep grumbling, you will be whipped. And if you don't step lively, if you keep dragging your feet or try to strike or sabotage things, I will beat you. Beating is the only language you really understand. And so much the worse for you. I will speak it loud and clear. Get a move on.
All right. I'm going. But this is the last time. It's the last time you hear me. Oh, I forgot. I've got something important to tell you.
Important? Well, out with it.
It's this. I've decided I don't want to be called Caliban any longer.
Oh my God, what kind of rot is this? I don't understand.
Put it this way. I'm telling you, I don't want to be called Caliban any longer.
Where did you get this idea?
Well, because Caliban isn't my name. It's as simple as that.
Oh, I suppose it is mine?
It's a name given me by your hatred. And every time it's spoken, it's an insult.
My heart be getting sensitive. All right, suggest something else. Come on, I've got to call you something. What will it be? Cannibal would suit you, but I'm sure you wouldn't like that, would you? Let's see. Oh, what about Hannibal? That fits, and why not? They all seem to like historical names.
Call me X. That would be best. Like a man without a name, or to be more precise, a man whose name has been stolen. You talk about history? Well, that's history and everyone knows it. Every time you summon me, it reminds me of the basic fact. The fact that you've stolen everything from me. Even my identity. Oh, horror!
Oh, my dear Ariel. Ariel, did you see how he looked at me, that glint in his eye? That is something new. Well, let me tell you, Caliban is the enemy. As for those people on the boat, I've changed my mind about them. Give them a scare, but for God's sake, don't touch a hair on their heads. You'll answer to me if you do.
I've suffered too much for having made them suffer not to be pleased at your mercy. You can count on me, master.
Yes. However great their crimes, if they repent, you can assure them of my forgiveness. They are men of my race and of high rank. And as for me, at my age, one must rise above disputes and quarrels and think about the future. I have a daughter. Alonso has a son. If they were to fall in love, I would give my consent. Let Ferdinand marry Miranda, and may their marriage bring us harmony and peace. That is my plan. I want it executed. And as for Caliban, what does it matter what that villain plots against me? All of the nobility of Italy, Naples, and Milan, henceforth combined, will protect me bodily.
Yes, master.
Go.
Your orders will be fully carried out. Sandy seashore, deep blue sky, surf is rising, seabirds fly. Here the lovers find delight, sun at noontime, moon at night. Join hands, lovers, join the dance, find contentment, find romance. Sandy seashore, deep blue sky, cares will vanish, so can I.
What is this music? It has led me here and now it stops. No, there it is again.
Waters move, the ocean flows. Nothing comes and nothing goes. Strange days are upon us. Oysters stare through pearly eyes. Heart-shaped corals gently beat in the crystal undersea. Waters move and ocean flows. Nothing comes and nothing goes. Strange days are upon us.
What is this that I see before me? A goddess? A mortal?
I know what I'm seeing. A flatterer. Young man, your ability to pay compliments in this situation in which you find yourself at least proves your courage. Who are you?
As you see, a poor, shipwrecked soul.
Oh, but one of high degree.
In other surroundings, I might be called Prince.
Prince.
Son of the king. But no, I was forgetting. Not Prince, but King. Alas, King, because my father had just perished in the shipwreck.
Poor young man. Here, you'll be so received with hospitality and will support you in your misfortune.
Alas, my father. Can it be that I am an unnatural son? Your pity would make the greatest of sorrows seem sweet.
I hope you like it here with us. The island is pretty. I'll show you the beaches and the forests. I'll tell you the names of fruits and flowers. I'll introduce you to a whole world of insects, of lizards, of every hue, of birds. Oh, you cannot imagine the birds.
That is enough, daughter. I find your chatter irritating. And let me assure you, it is not at all fitting. You are doing too much honor to an impostor. Young man, you are a traitor, a spy, and a woman chaser to boot. No sooner has he escaped the perils of the sea, but he's sweet-talking the first girl he meets. You won't get round me that way. Your arrival is convenient because I need more manpower. You shall be my house servant.
Seeing the young lady, more beautiful than any wood nymph, I might have been Ulysses on Nausicaa's isle. But hearing you, sir, I now understand my fate a little better. I see I've come ashore on the Barbary coast and am in the hands of a cruel pirate. However, a gentleman prefers death to dishonor. I shall defend my life with my freedom.
You poor fool, your arm is growing weak. Your knees are trembling. Traitor, I could kill you now. But I need the manpower. Follow me.
It's no use to resist, young man. My master is a sorcerer. Neither your passion nor your youth can prevail against him. Your best course would be to follow and obey him.
Oh, God. What sorcery is this? Vanquished, a captive, yet far from rebelling against my fate, I'm finding my servitude sweet. Oh, I would be imprisoned for life if only heaven will grant me a glimpse of my son each day, the face of my own son. Farewell, Nausicaa.
May he who eats his corn, heedless of Shango, be accursed. May Shango creep beneath his nails and eat into his flesh. Shango! Shango! Forget to give him room if you dare. He will make himself at home at your own nose. Refuse to have him under your roof at your own risk. He'll tear off your roof and wear it as a hat. Whoever tries to mislead Shango will suffer for it. Shango! Shango!
Greetings, Caliban. I know you don't think much of me, but after all, we are brothers. Brothers in suffering and slavery, but brothers in hope as well. We both want our freedom. We just have different methods.
Greetings to you. But you didn't come to see me just to make that profession of faith. Come on, Alastair. The old man sent you, didn't he? Huh. a great job carrying out the master's fine ideas, his
No.
great plans.
No, I've come on my own.
Mm.
I came to warn you. Prospero is planning horrible acts of revenge against you. I thought it my duty to alert you.
I'm ready for him.
Poor Caliban. You're doomed. You know that you aren't the stronger. You'll never be the stronger. What good will it do you to struggle?
And what about you? What good has your obedience done you? Your Uncle Tom patience and your sucking up to him? The man just getting more demanding and despotic day by day.
Well, at least I've achieved one thing. He's promised me my freedom. In the distant future, of course, but it's the first time he's actually committed himself.
Talk's cheap. He'll promise you 1,000 times and take it back 1,000 times. Anyway, tomorrow doesn't interest me. What I want is freedom now.
Okay. But you know you're not going to get it out of him now, and that he's stronger than you are. I'm in a good position to know just what he's got in his arsenal.
The stronger? How do you know that? Weakness always has 1,000 means, and cowardice is all that keeps us from listing them.
I don't believe in violence.
What do you believe in? Huh? Cowardice? In giving up? In kneeling and groveling? That's it. Someone strikes you on the right cheek and you offer the left. Someone kicks you on the left buttock and you will turn around the right. That way there's no jealousy. Well, that's not Caliban's way.
You know very well that's not what I mean. No violence, no submission either. Listen to me. Prospero is the one we've got to change. Destroy his serenity so that he's finally forced to acknowledge his own injustice and put an end to it.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's a good one. Prospero's conscience. Prospero is an old scoundrel who has no conscience.
Exactly. That's why it's up to us to give him one. I'm not fighting just for my freedom, but for our freedom. For Prospero too, so that Prospero can acquire a conscience. Help me, Caliban.
Hey, listen, kid, sometimes I wonder if you're not a little bit nuts. Okay, so that Prospero can acquire a conscience. You might as well ask a stone to grow flowers.
I don't know what to do with you. I've often had this inspiring, uplifting dream that one day Prospero, you, me, we would all three set out like brothers to build a wonderful world. Each one contributing his own special thing. Patience, vitality, love, willpower too, and rigor. Not to mention the dreams without which mankind would perish.
You don't understand a thing about Prospero. He's not the collaborating type. He's a guy who only feels something when he's wiped someone out. A crusher, a pulverizer. That is what he is. And you talk about brotherhood?
So then what's left? War? And you know that when it comes to that, Prospero is invincible.
Better death than humiliation and injustice. Anyhow, I'm going to have the last word, unless nothingness has it. The day when I begin to feel that everything's lost, just let me get a hold of the few barrels of your infernal powder. And as you fly around up there in your blue skies, you'll see this island, my inheritance, my work all blown to smithereens. And I trust Prospero and me with it. I hope you'll enjoy the fireworks display. It'll be signed Caliban.
Each of us marches to his own drum. You follow yours. I'll follow to the beat of mine. I wish you courage, brother.
Farewell, Ariel, my brother, and good luck.
A magnificent country. Oh, bread hangs from the trees, and apricots are bigger than a woman's full breasts.
Shame it's so wild and uncultivated here and there.
Oh, that's nothing. If there were anything poisonous, an antidote would never be far away, for nature is intrinsically harmonious. I've even read somewhere that guano is an excellent compost for sterile ground.
Guano? What kind of animal is that? Are you sure you don't mean iguana?
Young man, if I say guano, I mean guano. Guano is the name for bird droppings that build up over centuries, and it is by far the best fertilizer known. You dig it out of caves. If you want my opinion, I think we should investigate all the caves on the island, and one by one, and see if we find any. And if we do, this island, if wisely exploited, will be richer than the Egypt with its Nile.
Let me understand. Your guano cave contains a river of dried bird shit.
To pick your image, all we need to do is channel that river and use it to irrigate, if I may use a term, the field with this wonderful fecal matter, and everything will bloom.
But we still need the manpower to farm it. Is this island even inhabited?
Well, that is the problem, of course. But if it is, it must be by wonderful people. It's obvious a wondrous land can only contain wonderful creatures.
Yes. Men whose bodies are wiry and strong, and women whose eyes are open and frank. Creatures in it.
Oh, something like that. I see you know your literature, but in any case, watch out. It will all mean new responsibilities for us.
How do you get that?
I mean that if this island is inhabited, as I believe, and if we colonize it, as is my hope, then we have to take every precaution not to import our shortcomings. Yes, what we call civilization. They must stay as they are. Savages, noble, and good savages, free, without any complexities or complications. Something like a pool, granting us eternal youth, where we periodically come to restore our aging, sightful souls.
Sir Gonzalo, when will you shut up?
Oh, Your Majesty, if I'm boring you, I apologize. I was only speaking as I did to distract you and turn our sad thoughts into something more pleasant. There, I'll be silent. Indeed, these old bones have had it. Oh, let me sit down, with your permission, of course.
Noble old man, even though younger than you, we are all in the same fix.
Oh, in other words, dead, tired, and dying of hunger.
I have never pretended to be above the human condition. Listen. Listen. Did you hear that?
Yes, it is an odd melody.
Oh, heavens protect us. Live marionettes.
Such grace, such music. Oh, the whole thing is most peculiar.
Gone. Faded away. But what does that matter, since they've left their food behind? Oh, no meal was ever more welcome. Gentlemen, to the table.
Yes, let us partake of this meal, even though it may be our last. What? No!
Oh, that's a fine way to behave!
I have a distinct feeling that we have fallen under the sway of powers that are playing at cat and mouse with us. It is a cruel way to make us aware of our dependent status.
Oh, the way things have been going, it's not surprising. And it will do us no good to protest.
Oh, no. No. This time, I won't bite.
Oh, I don't care. I'm so hungry. I'll abandon my scruples.
Oh, why not try? Perhaps the powers controlling us saw how disappointed we were and took pity on us. After all, even though disappointed 100 times, Tantalus tried 100 times.
That was also his torture. I won't touch that food.
I don't like his refusing, Ariel. Harass them until they eat.
Why should we go to any trouble for them? If they won't eat, they can die of hunger.
No, I want them to eat.
That's despotism. A while ago, you made me snatch it away just when they were about to gobble it up, and now they don't want it. You're ready to force feed them.
Enough hair splitting. My mood has changed. They insult me by not eating. They must be made to eat out of my hand like chicks. That is a sign of submission I insist they give me.
It's evil to play with their hunger, as you do with their anxieties and their hopes.
That is how power is measured. I am power.
Alas, when I think,
Ah, that's your trouble, sire. You think too much.
and thus should I not even think of my lost son, my throne, my country?
Your son? What's to say we won't find him again? As for the rest of it, look, sire, this filthy hole is now our entire world. Why seek further? If your thoughts are too vast, cut them down to size.
So be it. But I would prefer to sleep and to forget.
Good idea. Let's put up our hammocks. Oh.
Look at those leeches. Those slugs wallowing in their slime and their snot. Idiots. Slime! They're like beach jellyfish.
It's the king. That old graybeard is his venerable counselor.
The king is he who watches over his flock while they sleep. That one isn't watching over anything, ergo he's not the king. You really are bloodless lily liver if you can see a king asleep without getting certain ideas.
I mustn't have any blood, only water.
Oh, don't insult water. Every time I look at myself, I think I'm more handsome, more there. My inner juices have always given me my greatness, my true greatness, not the greatness men grant me.
All right, so I'm stagnant water.
Water is never stagnant. It works. It works in us. It is what gives man his dimension, his true one. Believe me, you are mistaken if you don't grab this opportunity when it's offered you. It may never come again.
What are you getting at? I have a feeling I can guess.
Yes. Guess. You see that tree swaying in the wind? It's called a coconut palm. My dear Sebastian, in my opinion, it's time to shake the coconut palm.
All right, now I really don't understand.
Consider my position. I'm Duke of Milan. Well, I wasn't always. I had an older brother. That was Duke Prospero. And if I'm now Duke Antonio, it's because I knew when to shake the coconut palm.
And Prospero?
What do you mean by that? When you shake a tree, someone is bound to fall, and it obviously wasn't me who fell, because here I am to assist and serve you, Majesty.
Enough. He's my brother. I can't. My scruples won't allow me. You take care of him while I'll deal with the old counselor.
Stop, ruffians. Resistance is futile. Your swords are enchanted and falling from your hands.
Alas.
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 Sleepers, awake. Awake, I say. Your life depends on it. With these fine fellows with their long teeth and swords around, anyone who sleeps too soundly risks sleeping forever.
What's happening? I was asleep and I was having a terrible dream.
No, you were not dreaming. These fine lords here are criminals who are about to perpetuate the most odious of crimes upon you.
What?
Yes, Alonso. You may well marvel that a god should fly to your aid. Were to heaven, you deserved it more.
Well, I have never been wanting in respect for the divinity.
I don't know what the effect of my next piece of news will have on you, but the name of who has sent me to you is Prospero.
Prospero? Oh, God, save us.
I understand your feelings. He lives. It is he who reigns over this isle, as he reigns over the spirits of the air you breathe. But rise. You need fear no longer. He has not saved your lives to destroy them. Your repentance will suffice, for I can see that it is deep and sincere. As for you, gentlemen, my master's pardon, it extends to you as well. on the condition that you renounce your plans, knowing them to be vain.
It could have gotten worse.
If it were men we were up against, nothing could make me withdraw. But since it's demons and magic, there's no shame in giving in. We are the Duke's most humble and obedient servants. Please beg him to accept our thanks.
Oh, how ignoble. How good of you to just wipe the slate clean. No surface repentance. Not only do you want attrition, you want contrition as well. Oh, why look at me as though you don't know what I'm talking about. Attrition? A selfish regret for offending God caused by a fear of punishment. Contrition, an unselfish regret growing out of sorrow for displeasing God.
Honest, Gonzalo. Thank you for your clarification. Your eloquence has eased my mission, and your pedagogical skills has abbreviated it. In a few short words, you have expressed my master's thought. May your words be heard. Therefore, let us turn the page. To terminate this episode, I need only convoke you all on my master's behalf to the celebrations that this very day will mark the engagement of his daughter, Miranda. Alonzo, that's good news for you.
What? My son?
Correct. Saved by my master from the fury of the waves.
Oh, God be praised for this blessing more than all the rest. Rank, fortune, throne, I am prepared to forego all if my son is returned to me.
Come, gentlemen, follow me.
How life has changed now, hoe in hand. Oh, I work away all day, hoeing all the day. I go my weary way.
Poor kid. What would he say if he was Caliban? He works the night and day, and when he sings, it's Uende, 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 Makaya. And no pretty girl to console him. Let's listen to this.
How life has changed. Now, hoe in hand. Oh, I work away all day.
Oh, poor young man. Can I help you? You don't look like you were, cut out for this kind of work.
One word from you would be more help to me than anything in the world.
Oh, one word from me. I must say,
Your name. That's all. What is your name?
That I cannot do. It's impossible. My father has expressly forbidden it.
It is the only thing I long for.
But I can't. I tell you, it is forbidden.
Miranda.
All right then, I shall christen you with a name of my own. I will call you Miranda.
That's too much. What a low trick. You must have heard my father calling for me. Unless it was that awful Caliban who keeps pursuing me and calling out my name in his stupid dreams.
No, Miranda. I had only to allow my eyes to speak as your face.
My father is coming. He better not catch you trying to sweet talk me.
But times have changed. Now hoeing all the day, I go my weary way.
That's fine. Young man, look at that. You've managed to accomplish a good deal for a beginning. I see I've misjudged you, but you won't be the loser if you serve me well. Listen, my young friend, there are 3 things in life: work, patience, continence, and the world is yours. Hey, Caliban, I'm taking this boy away with me. He's done enough work for one day. But since the job is urgent, see that it gets done.
Me?
Yes, you. You've cheated me enough with your loafing and fiddling around so you can work a double shift for once.
I don't see why I should do someone else's job.
Who is the boss here, you or me? Listen, monster, if you don't like work, I'll see to it you change your mind.
Go on, go on. I'll get you one day, you bastard. One day, Makaya! Oh, shit, now it's raining. And if things weren't bad enough, do you hear that boy? That voice from the storm? Bah, it's Ariel, No, that's not his voice. Whose voice then? It's an old coot like Prospero. One of his cops, probably. Oh, fine. Now I'm in for it. A man and the elements both against me? Well, the hell with it. I'm used to it. Patience. I'll get them yet. In the meanwhile, I better make myself scarce. Let Prospero and his storm and his cops go by. Let the 7 maws of malediction bay.
Oh, Susanna, oh, don't you cry. Oh, you can say that again, my dearest Susanna. Trust Trinculo, we've had all the roaring storms we need and more, I swear. The whole crew wiped out. Liquidated, nothing. There's nothing left, nothing but poor Wandering and wailing Trinculo. No question about it. It'll be a while before anyone persuades me to depart from affectionate women and friendly towns to go after brave, raging storms. Oh, how it's raining. Is it? Oh, an Indian? Dead or alive? You never can tell with these tricky races. Ugh. Anyhow, this'll do me fine. If he's dead, I can use his clothes for shelter, for a coat, a tent, a covering, and if he's alive, I'll make him my prisoner and take him back to Europe, and then, by golly, my fortune will be made. I'll sell him to a carnival. No, I'll show him myself at fairs. What a stroke of luck. I'll just settle in here where it's warm, and I'll let the storm rage.
Blow the man down, hearties, blow the man down. Way, hey, blow the man down, blow the man down. Blow the man down. Well, fortunately, there's a little wine left in this bottle, enough to give me courage. So be of good cheer, Stefano. Where there's life, there's thirst, and vice versa. Oh, my God. Oh, Stefano's word. It looks like an Indian. And that's just what it is, an Indian. Oh, that's neat. I really am lucky. You know, there's money to be made from an Indian like that. If you showed him at a carnival, along with the bearded lady and the flea circus, a real Nindian, an authentic Indian from the Caribbean. Oh, that means real dough, or I'm the last of the idiots. Oh, but he's ice cold. I don't know what the body temperature of an Indian's supposed to be, but this one seems pretty cold to me. Let's hope he's not going to croak. How's that for bad luck? You find an Indian and he dies on you. A fortune just slips through your fingers. But wait, I've got an idea. A good swig of this booze between his lips, that'll warm him up. Hey. You? Yeah? Drink it? Oh, look, he's better already. The little glutton even wants some more. Hey, just a second. Oh, I must be seeing things. An Indian with 2 heads. Shit, if I have to pour this drink down 2 gullets, I won't have much left for myself. Oh, well, never mind. It is incredible. Your everyday Indian is already something, but one with 2 heads? Siamese twindian, an Indian with 2 heads and 8 paws. Oh, that's really something. Oh, my fortune is made. Come here, you wonderful monster. You, let's get a good look at your other head. Oh, hello. Oh, that face, that reminds me of something. That nose that shines like a lighthouse.
That gut.
That nose looks familiar.
That gut. There can't be 2 of them in this lousy world.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, that's it! It's that crook Trinkalo!
Stefano!
So Trinkalo, you were saved too! It almost makes you believe that God looks after drunks.
God, Bacchus, maybe. As a matter of fact, I reach these welcoming shores by floating on a barrel.
And I by floating on my stomach. It's nearly the same thing. But what kind of creature is this? Isn't this an Indian?
That's just what I was thinking. Yes, by God, it's an Indian. That's a piece of luck. He'll be our guide.
And judging from the way he can swill it down, he doesn't seem to be too stupid. I'll try to civilize him. Oh, not too much, of course, but enough so that he can be of some use.
Civilize him? Shit. Does he even know how to talk?
Yeah, I couldn't get a word out of him, but I know a way to loosen his tongue. All right.
Wait, look here. You're not going to waste that nectar on the first savage that comes along, are you?
Selfish, back off. Let me perform my civilizing mission. All right. Now, of course, if he were cleaned up a bit, he'd be worth a bit more to both of us. Okay? We'll exploit him together. It's a deal. All right. Drink up, pal. Drink. Oh, yum, yum, botty. Oh, you drink more. Oh, you no more thirsty? Well, me, always thirsty. Trinkalo, you know, I used to be prejudiced against shipwrecks, but I was wrong. They're not bad at all.
That's true. Seems to make things taste better afterwards.
Not to mention the fact it's got rid of a lot of those old farts that were always keeping, didn't you? All those kings and dukes and noblemen. Oh, I served them well enough. You gotta earn your drink somehow, but I could never stand them, ever. Understand? Never. Trinkalo, my friend, I am a longtime believer in the Republic. You might as well say it. I am a dyed-in-the-wool believer in the people first, Republican in my guts. Down with tyrants!
Which reminds me, if, as it would seem, the king and the duke are dead, there's a crown and a throne up for grabs around here.
By God, you're right! Oh, smart thinking, Trinkalo. So I appoint myself heir. I crown myself king of the island.
Sure you do. And why you, may I ask? I'm the one who thought of it, the crown.
Look, Trinkalo, don't be silly. I mean, just take a look at yourself. Well, what's the first thing a king needs? Bearing, presence. And if I've got anything, it's that, which isn't true for everyone. So I am the king.
Long live the king!
It's a miracle! He can talk, and what's more, he talks sense. Oh, brave savage! You see, my dear Trinkalo, the people have spoken. Vox populi, vox dei. But please, don't be upset. Stefano is magnanimous and will never abandon his good friend Trinkalo, the friend who stood by him in his trials. Trinkalo, we have eaten rough bread together. We have drunk rot-gut wine together. I want to do something for you. I shall appoint you Marshal. Oh, but we're forgetting our brave savage. Oh, it's a scientific miracle. He can talk.
Yes, sire. My enthusiasm has restored my speech. Long live the king! But beware the usurper.
Usurper? Who? Trinkalo?
No, the other one. Prospero.
Prospero? Don't know him.
Well, you see, this island used to belong to me, except that a man named Prospero cheated me of it. I'm perfectly willing to give you my right to it, but the only thing is you'll have to fight Prospero for
it. That is of no matter, brave savage. It's a bargain. I'll get rid of this Prospero for you in 2 shakes.
Watch out. He's powerful.
My dear savage, I eat a dozen Prosperos like that for breakfast every day. But say no more, say no more. Trinkalo, take command of the troops. Let us march upon the foe.
Yes, forward march, but first, a drink. We will need all of our strength and vigor.
Let's drink, my newfound friends. Let us sing. Let us sing of winning the day and an end to tyranny. Black becking creature of the savannas, their Quetzal measures out the new day, solid and lively in haughty armor. Zing! The determined hummingbird reveals in its flower's depths, going crazy, getting drunk. A high bird gathers up the ravings. Freedom my day, freedom my day.
Freedom my day, freedom my day.
The ring of dallies and Dutch amid the trees of wandering the islands. Here at rest, the white blossoms of the Maconia mingle with the violet blood of the ripe berries. The blood strains in your plumage, a traveler. Lying here after a dreary day, we listen to it. Freedom my day, freedom my day.
Okay, monster, enough crooning. Singing makes a man thirsty. Let's drink instead. Here, have some more. Spirits create higher spirits. Now lead the way. Oh, bountiful wine. Soldiers, forward march! Or rather, no, at ease. Night is falling. The fireflies twinkle, the crickets chirp. All nature makes its brick. And since the night has fallen, let us take advantage of it to gather our forces and to regain our strength, which has been sorely tried by the unusually copious emotions of the day. And tomorrow at dawn, with a new spring in our step, we'll have the tyrant's hide. Good night, gentlemen.
So then, Ariel, where are the gods and goddesses? They better gonna move on, all of them. I want all of them to partake in the entertainment I have planned for our dear children. Why do I say entertainment? Because starting today, I want to inculcate them in the spectacle of tomorrow's world. Logic, beauty, harmony, the foundations for which I have laid down in my own willpower. Unfortunately, alas, at my age, it is time to stop thinking of deeds and to begin thinking of passing on. Enter, then!
Honor and riches to you, long continuance and increasing long life and honored issues. Sings to you her blessings.
May scarcity and want shun you. That is Sirius's blessing on you.
My thanks, goddesses, and my thanks to you, Iris. Thank you for your good wishes.
What a splendid and majestic vision. May I be so bold to think these spirits?
Yes, spirits, which by my art I have from their confines called to greet you and to bless you.
But who is that? Doesn't look very benevolent. If I weren't afraid of blaspheming, I'd say you were more of a devil than a god.
You are not mistaken, fair lady. God to my friends, the devil to my enemies. And lots of laughs for all.
Ariel must have made a mistake. Ariel has made a mistake. Is my magic getting rusty? What are you doing here? Who invited you? I don't like such loose behavior, even from a god.
But that's just the point. No one invited me. And that wasn't very nice. Nobody remembered poor Eshu. So poor Eshu came anyway. Hi. So how about something to drink? Oh, your liquor's not bad. However, I must say I prefer dogs. Oh, I see that shocks the little lady, but to each their own. Some prefer chickens, others prefer goats. I'm not too fond of chickens myself, but if you are talking about a black dog, think of poor Eshu.
Get out. Get out. Go away. We will have none of your grimaces and your buffoonery in this noble assembly.
Oh, okay. I'm going, boss. I'm going. But not without a little song in honor of the bride and the noble company, as you would say. Eshu can play many tricks. Give him 20 dogs, you will see his dirty tricks. Eshu plays a trick on the queen and makes her so upset that she runs naked into the street. Eshu plays a trick and a bride. And on the day of the wedding, she gets into the wrong bed. Eshu can throw a stone yesterday and kill a bird today. He can make a mess out of order and vice versa. Oh, Eshu is a wonderful bad joke. Eshu is not the man to carry a heavy load. His head comes to a point, and when he dances, he doesn't move his shoulders. Oh, Eshu is a merry elf. Eshu is a merry elf, and he can whip you with his dick. He can whip you with his dick. He can whip you with his dick. He can whip you with his dick.
My dear Iris, don't you find that song quite obscene?
C'est dégoûtant. It's quite intolerable. If he keeps on, I'm leaving.
It's like Liber or Priapus.
Don't mention that name in my presence.
He can whip you with his dick.
Oh, can't someone get rid of him? I am not staying here.
Okay. Eshu will go. Farewell, my dear colleagues.
He's gone. Oh, what a relief. But alas, the harm is done. I am perturbed. My old brain is confused. Power. Alas, all this will fade one day like foam, like a cloud, like all the world. And what is power if I cannot calm my own fears? But come, my power has gone cold. Ariel!
What is it, sire?
Caliban is alive. He is plotting. He is getting together a guerrilla force. And you don't say a word. Huh? Well, take care of him. Snakes, scorpions, porcupines, all stinging, poisonous creatures. He is to be spared nothing. His punishment must be exemplary. And oh, don't forget the mud and mosquitoes.
Master, let me intercede for him and beg your indulgence. You've got to understand he's a rebel.
By his insubordination, he is calling into question the whole order of the world. Perhaps the divinity can afford to let him get away with it, but I have a sense of responsibility.
Very well, master.
But a thought, arrange some glass trinkets, some trumpery, some like second-hand clothes, but colorful ones by the side of the road, along which General Caliban and his troops are traveling. Savages adore loud, gaudy clothes.
Master...
You're going to make me angry. There is nothing to understand. There is a punishment to be meted out. I will not compromise with evil. Hurry, unless you want to become the next to feel my wrath. Fly. Ant. Vulture. Soft-shelled crab, kalau, crab, hummingbird.
Here.
Cramp, crime, fang, opossum. Huge hedgehog, you will be our son today. Shaggy, taloned, stubborn, may it burn. Moon, my fat spider, my big dream cat. Go to sleep, my velvet one.
King.
King.
Von. Malotto.
Think about going again. Away, you snakes, scorpions, porcupines, all stinging, biting, sticking beasts. Sting venom away! Or if you really want to lick me, do it with a gentle tongue, like a toad whose pure drool soothes me with the sweet dreams of the future. For it is for you, for all of us, that I go forth today to face the common enemy. Yes, hereditary and common. Look, a hedgehog. Sweet little thing. How can any animal, any natural animal, if I may put it that way, go against me on the day I'm setting forth to conquer Prospero? Unimaginable. Prospero is the anti-nature. And I say, down with the anti-nature. And does the porcupine bristle his spines at that? No, he smooths them down. That's nature. It's kind and gentle, in a word. You've just got to know how to deal with it. So come on. The way is clear. Off we go. Shango carries a big stick. He strikes and the money expires. He strikes and the lies expire. He strikes and larceny expires. Shango, Shango ho! Shango is the gatherer of the rain. He passes wrapped in his fiery cloak. His horse's hooves strike like lightning on the pavements of the sky. Shango is a great knight. Shango, Shango ho!
Tell me, brave savage, what is that noise? It sounds like the roaring of a beast at bay.
Not at bay. More like on the prowl. Don't worry, it's a pal of mine.
You are very close-mouthed about the company you keep.
And yet it helps me breathe. That's why I call it a pal. Sometimes it sneezes and a drop falls on my forehead and cools me with its salt, or blesses me.
I don't understand. You aren't drunk, are you?
Come on! It's that howling impatient thing that suddenly appears in a clap of thunder like some god and hits you in the face and that rises up out of the very depths of the abyss and smites you with its fury. It's the sea.
Odd country and an odd baptism.
But the best is still the wind and the songs it sings, the dirty sigh when it rustles through the bushes, and triumphant chant when it passes by breaking trees, remnants of the terror in its beard.
The savage is delirious. He's raving mad. Tough luck, Trinkalo. Our savage is playing without a full deck.
I'm kind of shuffling myself. In other words, I'm exhausted. I never knew such hard-going savage. Even your mud is muddier.
That isn't mud. That's something Prospero dreamed up.
There's a savage for you. Everything's always caused by someone. The sun is Prospero's eye. The rain is the tear in Prospero's eye. And I suppose the mud is Prospero's shit. And what about the mosquitoes, What are they, may I ask? You hear them? Face is being eaten off.
Those aren't mosquitoes. It's some kind of gas that stings your nose it's some sort of gas that stings your nose and throat and makes you itch. It's another one of Prospero's tricks. It's part of his arsenal.
What do you mean by that?
I mean his anti-riot arsenal. He's got a lot of gadgets like these. Gadgets to make you deaf, blind you, to make you sneeze, to make you cry.
You slip. Shit. To make you slip. This is some fix you've got us in. I can't take it anymore. I'm gonna sit down.
Come on, Trinkalo. Show a little courage. We're engaged in a mobile ground maneuver here, and you know what that means. Drive, initiatives, split-second decisions to meet new eventualities, and above all, mobility. Let's go. Up you get. Mobility.
But my feet are bleeding.
Get up or I'll knock you down. But tell me, my good savage, this usurper of yours seems very well protected. It might be dangerous to attack him.
You mustn't underestimate him. You mustn't overestimate him either. He's showing you his power, but he's doing it mostly to impress us.
Oh, well, no matter. Trinkalo, we must take precautions. Axiom, never underestimate the enemy. Here, pass me that bottle. I can always use it as a club.
Right, Stefano, on with battle. Victory means loot. And there's a foretaste of it. Look at that fine wardrobe. Trinket, and methinks you are going to try on those breeches. They'll replace your torn trousers.
Look out, Trinkalo. One move and I'll knock you down. As your lord and master, I have the first pick. And with those breeches, I am exercising my feudal rights.
Well, I saw them first.
Yeah, well, the king gets first pick in every country in the world.
That's tyranny, Stefano, and I'm not going to let you get away with it.
Oh, yeah?
Let it alone, fool. I tell you something about winning your dignity and you start fighting over hand-me-downs? You think I am stuck with these jokers? What an idiot I am. How could I have ever thought I could create the revolution with swollen guts and fat faces? Oh well, history won't blame me for not having been able to win my freedom all by myself. It's you and me, Prospero.
Strike. Go on. Strike. Strike your master, your benefactor. Don't tell me you're going to spare him. Go on. Go on. You don't dare. See? You are nothing but an animal. You don't even know how to kill.
Defend yourself! I'm not a murderer.
Oh, so much the worse for you. You've missed your chance. Stupid as a slave. And now enough of this farce. Ariel! Ariel, take charge of the prisoners.
Sir, I think you're cheating.
And what if I told you that I would not do so for 20 kingdoms?
I would not believe a word of it, but I would forgive you. Now, be honest. Did you cheat?
I'm pleased that you were able to tell. That makes me less worried at the thought that soon you will be leaving your innocent, flowery kingdom for my less innocent world of men.
Oh, you know, I am hitched to your star. I would brave the demons of hell.
My son, this marriage, the thrill of it has struck me dumb. The thrill and the joy.
A happy ending to a most opportune shipwreck.
Oh, God. Yes, yes, yes. Give me your hands. May the Lord bless you.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you, gentlemen, for having agreed to join in this little family party. Your presence has brought us comfort and joy. However, you must now think of getting some rest. Tomorrow morning, you will recover your vessels. They are undamaged. And your men, who I can guarantee are safe, hale, and hearty. I shall return with you to Europe, and I can promise you, or rather should I say promise us, a rapid sail and propitious winds.
God be praised. We are delighted and overcome. What a memorable day. With one voyage, Antonio has found a brother. His brother has found a dukedom. His daughter has found a husband. Alonso has regained a son and gained a daughter. And what else? Oh, anyway, I am the only one whose emotions prevent him from knowing what he's saying.
Well, the proof of that, my fine Gonzalo, is that you are forgetting someone. Ariel, my loyal servant. Yes, Ariel, today you will be free. Go, my sweet. I hope you will not be bored.
Bored. I fear that the days will seem all too short. There, where the Scrocopia gloves its impatient hands with silver, where the ferns free the stubborn black stumps from their scored bodies with a green cry, there, where the intoxicated berry ripens the visit of the wild ring dove, through the throat of that musical bird I shall let fall, one by one, each more pleasing than the last, 4 notes so sweet, that the last will give rise to a yearning in the heart of the most forgetful slaves, yearning for freedom.
Come, all the same, you're not going to set my world on fire with your music, I trust.
Or on some stony plain, perched on agave stalk, I shall be the thrush that launches its mocking cry to the benighted field hand. Dig, nigger! Dig, nigger! And the lighted agave will straighten from my flight a solemn flag.
That is a very unsettling agenda. Go scram before I change my mind.
Sire, here are your people.
Oh, no, not all of them. Some of them are yours.
True, there's that fool Trinculo and that unspeakable Stefano.
The very ones, sire, in person. We throw ourselves at your merciful feet.
What became of you?
Sire, we were walking in the forest. No, it was the fields when we saw some perfectly respectable clothing blowing in the wind. We thought it was only right to collect them, and we were returning them to their rightful owner when a frightful adventure befell us.
Yes, we were mistaken for thieves and treated accordingly.
Yes, sire, it is the most dreadful thing that could happen to an honest man. Victims of a judicial error, a miscarriage of justice.
Enough. Today is a day to be benevolent, and it will do no good to try to talk sense to you in the state that you're in. Leave us, go sleep it off, drunkards. We raise sail tomorrow.
Raise sail? But that's all we do all the time, Sire. Stefano and I, at least. We raise our glasses from dawn till dusk till dawn. The hard part is putting them down, landing, as you might say.
Scoundrels, if only life could bring you to the safe harbors of temperance and sobriety.
That is the strangest creature I've ever seen.
And the most devilish, too.
What's that? Devilish? You've reprimanded him, preached at him, you've ordered and made him obey, and you say he is still indomitable.
Honest Gonzalo, it is as I have said.
Well, and forgive me, counselor, if I give counsel. On the basis of my long experience, the only thing left is exorcism. Begone, unclean spirit, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. That's all there is. You're absolutely right. And more so than I thought. He's not just a rebel, he's a real tough customer. So much the worse for you, my friend. I've tried to save you. I give up. I leave you to the secular arm.
Come here, Caliban. Have you got anything to say in your own defense? Take advantage of my good humor. I am in a forgiving mood today.
I'm not interested in defending myself. My only regret is that I have failed.
What were you hoping for?
To get back my island and to regain my freedom.
And what would you do all alone here on this island, haunted by the devil Tempest tossed?
First of all, I'd get rid of you. I'd spit you out, all your works and pomps. Your white magic.
That's a fairly negative program.
You don't understand it. I say I'm going to spit you out. And that's very positive.
Well, the world is really upside down. We've seen everything now. Caliban as a dialectician. However, in spite of everything, I am fond of you. Caliban, come. Let's make peace. We've lived together for 10 years and worked side by side. 10 years count for something after all. We've ended up by becoming compatriots.
You know very well I'm not interested in peace. I'm interested in being free. Free, you hear?
You know, it's odd. No matter what you do, you won't succeed in making me believe that I am a tyrant.
Understand what I say, Prospero. 4 years, I bowed my head. 4 years, I took it, all of it. Your insults, your ingratitude, and worst of all, more degrading than all the rest, your condescension. But now it's over. Over, do you hear? Of course, at the moment, you're still stronger than I am. But I don't give a damn for your power, or for your dogs, or your police, or your inventions. And you know why? It's because I know I'll get you. I'll impale you. And on the stake, you've sharpened yourself. You'll have impaled yourself. Prosper, you're a great magician. You're an old hand at deception. And you lied to me so much about the world, about myself, that you ended up imposing on me an image of myself underdeveloped, and in your words, undercompetent. That's how you made me see myself. And I hate that image. And it's false. But now I know you, you old cancer. And I also know myself. And I know that one day, my bare fist, just that will be enough to crush your world. The old world is crumbling down. I mean, isn't it true? Just look. It even bores you to death. Oh, and by the way, you have a chance to get it over with. You can pick up and leave. You can go back to Europe. But the hell you... I'm sure you won't leave. You make me laugh with your mission, your vocation. Your vocation is to hassle me. And that is why you'll stay. Just like those guys who founded the colonies and who now can't live anywhere else. You're just an old addict. That is what you are.
Poor Caliban. You know that you're headed toward your own ruin. You're sliding towards suicide. You know I will be the stronger and stronger all the time. I pity you.
And I hate you.
Beware, my generosity has limits.
Shango marches with strength along his path. The sky. Shango is a fire bearer. His steps shake the heavens and the earth. Shango! Shango-ho!
I have uprooted the oak and raised the sea. I have caused the mountain to tremble, and I have bared my chest to adversity. With Jove, I have traded thunderbolt for thunderbolt. Better yet, from a brutish monster, I have made a man. But oh, to have failed to find the path to man's heart, if that be where man is. Well, I hate you as well, for it is you who have made me doubt myself for the first time. My friends, come near. We must say farewell. I shall not be going with you. My fate is here, and I shall not run from it.
What, sire?
Hear me well. I am not in any ordinary sense a master, as this savage thinks, but rather the conductor of a boundless score, this isle. Summoning voices, I alone, and mingling them at my pleasure, arranging out of that confusion one intelligible line. Without me, who would be able to draw music from all that? This isle is mute without me, and my duty is here, and here I shall stay.
Oh, day rich, full of miracles.
Do not be distressed. Antonio, be you the lieutenant of my goods and make use of them as procurator until that time when Ferdinand and Miranda may take effective possession of them, joining them with the kingdom of Naples. Nothing of that which has been set for them must be postponed. Let their marriage be celebrated at Naples with all royal splendor. Honest Gonzalo, I place my trust in your word. You shall stand as father to our princess at this ceremony.
Count on me, sire.
Gentlemen, farewell. And now, Caliban, it's you and me. What I have to tell you will be brief. 10 times, 100 times I've tried to save you, above all from yourself. But you have always answered me with wrath and venom, like the possum that pulls itself up by its own tail, the better to bite the hand that tears it from the darkness. Well, boy, I shall set aside my indulgent nature, and henceforth I will answer your violence with violence. Odd, but for some time now we seem to have been overrun with possums. They're everywhere. Peccaries, wild boar, all this unclean nature. But mainly possums. Those eyes, the vile grins that they have, it's as though the jungle was laying siege to the cave. But I shall stand firm. I shall not let my work perish. I shall protect civilization. Oh, that's it. They'll be done for. Oh, from then I'll have some peace and quiet for a while. Oh, but it's cold. It's cold. Oh, and how the climate has changed. Cold on this island. I have to think about making a fire. Well, Caliban, old fellow, it's just us two now here on this island. Caliban, you and me. Only you and me. You and me. You, me, you. What the hell is he up to? Caliban!
Freedom High Day. Freedom High Day.
Thank you all so much for coming. Imagine the theater, we're all applauding. Wonderful. So I'm gonna invite folks back for a little talk back. Not for too long, because that's a huge piece. We want to give everyone room to digest everything that just happened. So to start off, I'd love to just have our director extraordinaire, Celia, tell us a little bit about how you approach this text.
First off, thank you, cast. Such a wonderful job, seriously. And thank you to everybody who watched and who will watch after the live stream's over. Really, it was the first thing that I said to folks was, what is the proximity to whiteness that your character has? And that's in all facets. That means their gender identity, that means their race and their class. And then I also asked cast members to allow that to inform if their race or gender identity did not match with the characters as well. Like, how does that inform your presence into the piece? But it was always about proximity to white supremacy, proximity to whiteness, proximity to white privilege, and how everybody functions and navigates in that space that I asked people to think about. So that was my approach. And then obviously collaboration, because being on the other end, I know that the actors have so many thoughts and ideas, and I just wanted to see where they would take the piece and where they saw their own character, because they were sitting with it and working with them. You're on mute, Olivia.
Come on. No, I was just saying that's a really wonderful starting place for this piece, especially when, like with Shakespeare as kind of like a monolith of whiteness, right? And so like, what is a Tempest's positionality in regard to whiteness, in regard to Shakespeare? And then what are all these characters sort of bouncing against that too? So sort of coming off of that, this is a question for everyone. Why do you all feel this piece is important to examine in our current moment?
I'm going to give that to my cast as well, because I could talk all the time. So if anybody wants to step in, can.
I think something that really strikes me about this piece and how it sort of shapes this like whole conversation about colonialism is how it shows that colonialism is not just a relationship between, like, it is a relationship between the colonizer and the colonized, but like in this you see how like it's also about like the colonizer's relationship with themselves and like where that need for power and subjugation comes from and why it can't come from a healthier place. Not that power and subjugation comes from a healthy place, but like how it shows more their relationship, how they see themselves, like it informs it. We often think about like identities of color like as shaped by whiteness, but like whiteness is also shaped really interestingly. Anyway, I'm done.
Absolutely. Does anyone else want to weigh in?
I thought it was interesting just through the script how we hear how long the relationship has been going on, how it's progressed to where it is right now, and how within the play, like today's the day that something's going to happen, but just how it is like a gradual compromise that builds to this ugly, awful thing. So that was interesting, along with seeing the relationships like that he has with him, that Prospero has with himself, the relationship he has with his daughter, and how who he is plays out differently, but still the same motive behind every relationship. So that was devastating, as it was amazing to take away being in it and watching it.
I believe that the playwright, drew direct parallels between things that are happening today in our society, very, very direct parallels. But something that I found very, very interesting whilst working on this piece was in ways like how this relationship started as one thing that was so close and like it was like a positive thing. It really was. It was like a brotherhood. It was a friendship, and how each, like as like Avriel said, like it's a compromise, and before you know it, like you're enslaved. Like how to, and that's kind of like, it's so tragic. It really is so tragic. But that's where we're at, both now and then. It's that's my opinion.
It was really interesting to learn that this play was written in 1969. But if you didn't know that, you wouldn't know that. Like, what? And something that really struck me about the themes of this play is, for my character, Prospero, there's this sense of wanting to create a better world, wanting to create a future, wanting to bring that, there's this, we have the visitation from the Roman goddesses and what have you, that this is about preserving something beautiful, and preserving a sense of authority and hierarchy, and just how, like, when that's threatened, there is no question as to a character like Prospero's priorities. This world, whether or not it exists, whether or not it is as Prospero imagines it, becomes irrelevant in the face, or any input becomes irrelevant that's coming from either Ariel or Caliban or anybody else who says, maybe this, are you seeing the other side of this? This is not what you think it is. Cannot deal with that. And I thought that's something I think we're facing a lot in this country, is people seeing something and digging their heels in so hard when somebody tries to say, if you tilt it that way, that's not what that is, I think. So that's what struck me about the piece.
I think it's telling that whiteness sees threats everywhere except from within itself. And I think this play shows that, the call is coming from inside the house.
Sorry. Aaron is taking us to church. Agreed. Agreed with everything. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I first read this play a couple of years ago, there was this feeling of like, oh, was this written right now? Was this written in the 60s? Is this just the Tempest? Was this just what it, is this just what it was? There is something really startling about like I don't know. Now I'm just like pontificating a little bit, but particularly the end, the last speech of Prospero just feels like whiteness withering inside of itself into this like gnarled, decayed narcissism that's like so, it's like the bad growths that are really like people are trying to uproot, and it just see Prospero as this like dying gnarly tree. One hopes. Any other thoughts on that before we move on?
I would say one, I I think we talked about this early on too, was about the differences in realities that white people feel in the play and white people feel in general sometimes is versus the reality of the actual world, whether that's the reality of nature, reality of different religions. There is just whiteness is ever present in all those things. And it distorts reality. It distorts what is happening and what is real. So yeah.
Which is totally interesting when this is actually a perfect segue, like when we think about in the Tempest, Shakespeare's Tempest, the characters all have these revealing reactions to the island. Some of them are like, this is the most beautiful island I've ever seen. Some of them are like, this is such a like dry, arid, horrible place. And like the way in which there's something about this play reveals like the hidden sort of souls and biases of people, and like the way in which whiteness in this play functions as like blinders sort of inherently. That said, so this piece is based off of a Shakespeare text, based off of the Tempest. Is there radical potential in that text, or is the radical potential only realized in this alternative text? Like, is there something worth digging up in the Tempest in Shakespeare?
I would say yes and a no, right? I think this piece is a response to it because it doesn't exist in the piece. There are elements that the playwright felt that they really needed to express in this piece. But I'm also a huge fan, and Project Non-Genu is too, of revisiting those texts and with the lens of all the things that white privilege tries to keep out. Everything, whether or not you're a person of color or you're queer or disabled, like I think it can be found in the text. I think those people existed then and they exist now. But also knowing that we all love us some Shakespeare, but he was racist. I'm sure, like, I don't need to know him to know that he was racist a couple hundred years ago. So knowing that the text as well can have that white saviorism or like that gentrification of an island, that kind of thing, but be able to just flip it on its head because it's universal for a reason,
For sure. So I have one other question, just to sort of keep in the mechanics of our minds as we move forward and we think about this piece. If anyone isn't familiar with Aimé Césaire, he's part of this sort of group of writers and artists and activists around this time period who really were just like turning the world on its head in terms of concepts around race and racism. And he was a politician, he was an activist, he was a writer. And there's one quote that I found on an essay about this play that said, it's from Robin D.G. Kelly. And about Césaire, he says, while it might appear that the poet and the politician operated in separate spheres, Césaire's life and work demonstrate that poetry can be the motor of political imagination, a potent weapon in any movement that claims freedom as its primary goal. So coming out of this reading and sort of grappling with the political nature of this work, how does that quote sit with you all in your experience as artists, as change makers? Like, what does it give us to move forward with?
I mean,
Go for it.
It definitely, that pretty much articulates also the way I feel about theater, that and it reminds me of a quote from Audre Lorde from her essay Poetry is Not a Luxury, that hold on, I thought I could look it up and I can't. But like how poetry gives name to the nameless, and it Oh, poetry is the way we help give name to the nameless so it can be thought. That's how I think about theater, and I think about theater as a way of imagining the world that we want to live in, but also in the sense that like the way that poetry sets us free lets us also name the chains that have been holding us back. And I also feel that way about theater. And so I feel like anything that puts a true spotlight on whiteness when whiteness depends on lies is something really radical and really essential in the theater.
I find that quote, the one that you shared, Olivia, and also yours was beautiful as well. Like it's inspiring as it is an indictment, just as an artist. It's like, well, this is the political thing and this is the art thing. And so recognizing where I have acquiesced or I've played into an idea, not even realizing it because I've compartmentalized my artistry from what it can do and the power of it. And so I haven't, in some instances, haven't really fully tapped into that. So I think it's inspiring as it is a call to action. And what an amazing spirit that's allowed us this opportunity to have this conversation and to get to do this play even now. So like that's the legacy of living that way. So to live that way and recognizing the areas where we can afford ourselves that and that shedding. I
think like so passionate about this. I think art is inherently political in so many spheres. One, I think a lot of art is created by people who are part of marginalized communities. I mean, you look at comic books, you look at everything from like the Statue of David to like Lil Nas X's like latest video, everything. It's about storytelling. It's about making sure people understand that they're not alone and kind of rallying the troops in a way. And if telling stories, whether it be through poetry, theater, music, is the way to get people to open up their eyes and to listen, then we absolutely are going to use every tool in our arsenal. So I think those two things always go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I
It's
would
a beautiful marriage.
I would also add that my presence is political, like me and my identity. And I feel like a lot of people can connect to that, and that I can't separate my artistry from my politics because my body is both a representation of my art and politics. Who did? I'm realizing things about myself. Okay, cool. But yeah, so that piece that you just read really lands with me, because that is how I exist and function in this world, both as an artist and as a political disruptor, just the way I was born, just how I identify.
I think that quote particularly is interesting because a big question that is asked in this play is, what does freedom mean? Because it means a lot. It really, I'm finding more and more that it means proximity to whiteness, right? Like we see that a lot with the way Caliban's treated versus the way Ariel's treated versus the way Miranda or Prospero, the way that they're treated. Mm-hmm. And so I think you're right that what everyone is saying is completely right, that art has this responsibility to point out things that we would otherwise not look at, or we otherwise wouldn't notice, or something that the marginalized folks have noticed that white folks don't, which is that the closer to whiteness you are, the more free you are, which is always the most ironic thing to say in America, where we brag about our freedom and the way that we kind of we indulge in this idea of freedom, but what does that mean for people?
And I wonder if there's a way that this text can help us decolonize our conceptions of freedom. Like what does like the uncolonized state of freedom look like that like isn't sort of totally statuified by whiteness? Or is it not that word? Like, is there something else? Like what does actual chain breaking look like in this play in terms of the structures that we're all operating in right now? Yeah, those are just questions for the universe. But I want to respect everybody's time and all the intellectual and emotional heavy lifting that we're doing. Does anyone want to add anything else before we wrap up for tonight?
Thank you. Thank you, Celia. Thank you, everybody, for this. It was I had a great time. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you,
Thank
Celia,
you.
for guiding us through this like emotional and intellectual heavy lifting.
Mhm.
I don't think
We love you, Celia.
Oh,
Love you, girl.